Hi, welcome back with another movie explanation. Today, I'm going to explain an action drama film called Viking Destiny. Spoilers ahead, watch out and take care. The film opens with a quote, and the quote is Once upon a time, world belonged not to man, but to the gods of Valhalla, to Odin, god of wisdom and warfare, and Loki, god of mischief and mayhem. After this, we can see that Odin and Loki were the kings of Valhalla, and they gave advices to their family members who came after them. Odin gives good advice on how to become a great king, but on the other hand, Loki is completely different. He used to advise the kings how to create mayhem in the kingdom. Loki finds happiness in the mayhem he created. After this, we can see a kingdom named Volsung being attacked by another kingdom, and we can see people at war fighting and dying for their country. The king of Volsung, whose name is Asmund, is right next to his queen, Alva, who is about to give birth to their child. He wants to leave to the war, but couldn't because there's a belief in the Vikings if the child is born without his or her father beside them, it could lead to something bad to their family. Alva somehow convinces the king Asmund to go fight in the war, but he says it will be a problem later. She tells him not to think about anything other than the kingdom's future. After this, Asmund leaves and goes to fight in the war with his commander, Soini. In the next scene, he wins the war and returns home. He sees his wife Alva dead on the bed. He knew something like this would happen. She died while giving birth to their child. While he was crying to see his wife on the bed, King Asmund's half-brother Bard comes to Asmund and tells him if the enemies found out that Queen Alva has given birth to a girl child, she will be the princess of Volsung, and they won't hesitate to attack Volsung and take control of their kingdom. Bard has a history. He is the half-brother of Asmund. Their mother is the same woman, but the fathers are different. A few years ago, when their kingdom was attacked by a nearby kingdom named Sickling, the king of Sickling forced Asmund's mother and made her pregnant. After this, Asmund's father took control of Volsung again, but Asmund's mother gave birth to Bard. Bard is known as the half-prince because of this, but no one dares to defy him. Bard is jealous of his brother Asmund, but acts like he loves him. Now Bard gives Asmund some advice and tells him that his wife has given birth to a boy 3 days ago, and if they exchange their children, it will be good for the kingdom. Asmund agrees to what Bard said and gives his child to him, and takes his son, and tells everyone that he is the new prince that Alva gave birth to. 21 years later, we can see Asmund's daughter Hayley, trained by the commander Soini on how to sword fight. She defeats Soini and he yields. After this, we come to know that Soini is trailing Hayley in secret ever since she was just a child. Soini tells Hayley that she has learned everything there is about fighting, and she is ready. Hayley thanks Soini for the training, and they leave back to the palace. After this, Odin comes to Hayley and tells her that her life is going to change drastically very soon, and he disappears. In the next scene, Hakon, son of Bard, is fighting and training in front of Asmund. Hakon couldn't defeat his trainer, and everyone there knows that he is a coward and he's not fit to fight. Asmund gets angry seeing this, but he couldn't say a word. He tells Bard that the advice he gave him 21 years ago was the worst advice, and it is the biggest mistake he has ever done in his life, and leaves. He goes to Hayley to ask her how her training with Soini is going. She tells him it's fine and she learned a lot of things from Soini. The next day, Asmund asks Hayley to fight, and she starts fighting a man in front of Asmund, and she defeats a man and proves her fighting skills to Asmund. Asmund seems happy to see her learn how to fight better than a man. In the night, Bard comes to Hayley and tells her that there's a monster named Kraken that scares everyone in the kingdom, including Asmund. He tells her if she could kill the Kraken, she will be on the good side of Asmund. This is all nothing but Bard's plan to make Hayley fight the dragon and die in the process. After listening to Bard's words, Hayley leaves to kill the Kraken. Soon, Hakon comes to Hayley to talk something. She tells him that she has no time if he wants to talk to her. He can come with her. Hakon goes along with Hayley, and they reach a cave. Bard sees Hayley and Hakon go into a cave from a distance. He has made up a plan with the Sickling commander. He tells the commander to kill both Hayley and Hakon, and he doesn't want anyone standing in his way to take control of Volsung Kingdom. The Sickling commander named Karkut sends a huge man named Wolf into the cave to kill Hayley and Hakon. On the other side, Aspen sees a dream that something bad is going to happen to Hayley and wakes up. In the next scene, Wolf fights with Hayley and he hits her multiple times. He also makes Hakon unconscious. After fighting for a while, Hayley realizes she couldn't defeat Wolf. Wolf was about to kill Hayley, but suddenly Aspen comes to the cave and defeats Wolf and saves both Hayley and Hakon. After this, Aspen tells Haley the truth about their exchange. He tells her that he is her real father and not Bard. After this, Karkut comes into the cave and kills Aspen by throwing an axe to his head. Bard also comes into the cave and tells Karkut to kill both Haley and Hekon. Hekon tries to save Haley and tells her to run. Haley runs and hides somewhere in the cave. Hekon gets killed by Karkut. After this, they search for Haley, but they don't find her. Bard tells Karkut to forget about her because he's the new king, and he can kill Haley later. Bard tells everyone at the kingdom a lie. The lie that is Haley killed Asmund and fled the kingdom. After this, Bard hosts a funeral for Asmund. He claims himself the king of Volsung. In the next scene, Sony doesn't believe in Bard and tells his men to search for the princess Haley. In the next scene, as soon as Bard becomes the king, he goes to an ironsmith and tells him to make a weapon for him. He tests the weapon on the ironsmith to see how it works. He kills the ironsmith. After this, he tells Karkut to search for Haley. On the other side, Haley meets some wanderers among them. She meets Vern, Tane, and Tarburn, a woman and two men. Tarburn asks Haley to come with them, and she goes with them. Haley gets influenced by the lifestyle of the wanderers and decides to stay with them. In the next scene, Haley talks to Vern, and while talking to him, she kisses him. This is when some men sent by Bard find Haley and fight them off. She wants to kill them, but Vern stops her from doing so and tells her that they'll relocate by the time someone else comes looking for them. In the next scene, Loki tells Bard to find Haley as soon as possible because she could be a threat to him. Bard goes in search of Haley himself. After this, Haley sees Vern getting married to Tate and feels sad, but Turban tells her not to be sad. After this, Soini finds her and talks to her. He tells her to come back. She tells him she doesn't want to go back home. Haley meets Odin. He tells her that it is her destiny to become the queen of Volsung. Haley decides to go back to her kingdom and become queen by defeating Bard. In the next scene, Haley forms an army with the help of Soini and Vern and Tate. After this, Bard finds where Haley is and comes to her with his army to kill her. Haley's army and Bard's army start fighting. Haley kills a lot of Bard's men, and her eyes are on Bard. She thinks of killing Bard next. He realizes this and runs into the forest along with Thorstein. Haley goes behind him. After seeing Haley go into the forest, Soini sends a few of his men with her to help her. Haley kills Thorstein in a gruesome fight, and she starts to fight Bard. Bard hits Haley multiple times and makes her weak. At the same time, Loki comes to Bard and tells him to kill Haley as soon as possible. After this, while Bard was holding her throat and suffocating her, she takes a chain and puts it on Bard's neck. After this, she hangs him to a tree and kills him. She tells him that a god can defeat her, but not a human. After this, Karkut tries to kill Soini, but before he can kill Soini, Haley kills him. Seeing this, everyone there kneels down and accepts Haley as their queen. In the climax, Haley sits on the throne and becomes the queen of Volsung, but Loki tries to infest Tate with his words. Tate looks at Haley with anger. The film ends here. Subscribe for more videos like this, turn on notifications and leave a like to help the channel out. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to let me know how you feel about today's video in the comments down below. Stay safe and never forget, you are awesome.